Look, lately everyone keeps asking me the exact same question. When is Claude 5 actually coming out? And, is it really gonna absolutely crush GPT-5 and Gemini? Well, I've spent weeks digging through Anthropic's blog posts, leaked benchmarks, AWS announcements, and founder interviews, trying to get you a real answer. So, welcome back to AI Verdict and to this explainer where we do the heavy lifting and research so you don't have to. Real quick, you can join our community of AI enthusiasts just by clicking the link in the description to subscribe to our free weekly newsletter. Today, we are breaking down everything you need to know about Anthropic's next massive leap in artificial intelligence. We're going to cover exactly what Anthropic has confirmed, plus what's leaked regarding Claude 5's context windows, its coding power, safety, and pricing. By the end, you'll know for sure if it's worth the wait.
So here is the burning question on everyone's mind. The anticipation for this model is just absolutely off the charts, especially when you think about what the current generation is already capable of doing. But the answer to when we'll finally get our hands on it isn't just, a simple date marked on a calendar. It's actually a bit of a mystery wrapped in a very deliberate corporate strategy. Because the surprising twist here is that the foundation of Claude 5 is basically already here. You just don't have access to it yet. I know, no way, right? It sounds crazy. But once we walk through the evidence of what this model is already doing in the shadows, the reason why they're holding it back from a full public release starts to make a whole lot of sense.
Section 1. Anthropic's Rapid Release Spree.
To really understand Claude 5, you have to look at the last 7 months, because Anthropic has been on an absolute tear. Back in September 2025, they dropped Sonnet 4.5, which was instantly hailed as the best coding model in the world. Then, October gave us Haiku 4.5, which brought similar intelligence but at roughly a third of the cost. And then, boom, February 2026 hits us with Opus 4.6 delivering this massive 1 million token context window. And mid-April 2026, we got Sonnet 4.6 and Opus 4.7, pushing coding, reasoning, and vision capabilities even further. That is 5 major models in just 7 months, every single one pushing the boundaries. But behind the scenes, they were hiding something.
Section 2. The secret Mythos model.
Meet Mythos. In April 2026, AWS very quietly added a Claude Mythos preview to Bedrock. And the crazy thing is, they described it not as Opus 4.7, but explicitly as Anthropic's most advanced AI model to date. Now, it wasn't released for general chat or your standard API use, no. It was strictly deployed for cybersecurity under the codename Project Glasswing, and it was entirely gated, only available for vetted organizations.
And the sheer scale of what Mythos achieved is just incredible. When they set it loose on real software, it autonomously discovered thousands of high-severity, exploitable bugs in code that humans had been running for literally decades. It was spotting holes nobody even knew were there. So this isn't just a better autocomplete tool. Actually, scratch that. It's a completely different category of autonomous capability. It is the true foundation of Claude 5. The only reason it isn't called Claude 5 yet is because Anthropic heavily gates its frontier models. This is essentially Mythos, just waiting for an additional 6 months of alignment work to be bolted on.
Section 3. Predicting the release date.
So when do we get it? Anthropic hasn't officially confirmed a date, but tracker sites and insider leaks are all converging on a massive combined launch in Q3 2026, which puts it likely in late summer or September. Anthropic operates on this roughly quarterly release cadence, and leaks are pointing to a Sonnet 5 codename called Fennec. When it drops, expect it to follow their established tier system. We're talking Opus 5, Sonnet 5, and Haiku 5, all launching simultaneously as a complete family.
Section 4. What will it actually do?
2 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. The absolutely crucial point here is that while Opus 4.6 gave us a 1 million token context window, leaked benchmarks for the Sonnet 5 Fennec model suggest it doubles that to a massive 2 million tokens.
To put that massive token window into perspective, think about it like this. You could take the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, plus your entire application codebase, plus your last 6 months of Slack history, and drop the whole shebang into a single prompt. The model just sees all of it at once and understands the context perfectly. There's no more breaking up files or losing vital information. It's a total game changer.
And when it comes to coding, well, the data definitely speaks for itself. Anthropic's older Sonnet 4.5 already dominates the SWE coding benchmarks at 77%, clearly beating out GPT-5 at 73% and Gemini 3.1 Pro at 67%. And remember, the new Mythos Foundation reportedly blows completely past all of these numbers. Claude 5 won't just autocomplete your functions, it's going to autonomously plan, write, run, debug, and ship multi-file features right while you watch.
But it's not just about context and code, right?
It's also leveling up multimodality. Opus 4.7 already reads dense charts and chemical structures with high-res vision, though honestly, audio capabilities remain a bit of an open question. Beyond that, Claude 5 introduces agentic workflows that feel like working with a real coworker. We're talking persistent agents that will remember context across days, learn from past mistakes, and carry your specific domain knowledge forward. Plus, they're adding this thing called adaptive thinking. This means the model actually decides for itself how much compute to spend based on how difficult your question is. It's like a dial you can tune via API to control your cost versus quality. So, it'll think longer on really hard problems, but answers super quickly on the easy ones.
Section 5. The safety trade-off. 23,000. That is the word count of the Constitution that every single Claude model uses. During training, the AI literally uses this massive document of principles to continuously critique its own outputs.
Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei hit the nail on the head when he stated, "The goal for 2026 is to train Claude so it almost never goes against the spirit of its constitution." Because of this rigorous approach, their models score noticeably better on alignment evaluations. Haiku 4.5 even hit AI Safety Level 2, which is their lowest risk tier. They're wrapped in extensive red teaming and hundreds of pages of system cards. Now, the trade-off here, yes, for sure, they're slightly slower to ship than the competition, but man, they are a whole lot harder to break.
Section 6. Competitors and expected pricing.
Ultimately, it's all about different tools for different jobs. For consumer chatbots, voice polish, and image generation, OpenAI's GPT-5 is still the undisputed king. For ecosystem integration and multimodal video search, Google's Gemini 3.1 Pro wins out. But for enterprise, raw reasoning, and code, Claude 5 is aggressively carving out its territory. In fact, Anthropic claims Opus 4.6 already beats GPT 5.2x by 144 ELO points on real-world enterprise knowledge tests. The main takeaway for us, use GPT for end consumers, but use Claude to build the software itself.
And what about the open source models out there like Llama or Mistral? Well, they are absolutely fantastic if you need to self-host, fine-tune, and avoid API costs entirely. However, they simply do not come with Anthropic's heavy enterprise reliability, support contracts, and constitutional safety guarantees. For serious enterprise work, Claude is essentially building the ultimate safety net. Now, you might be thinking, okay, all this advanced technology is going to cost an absolute fortune, right? Surprisingly, no. Anthropic recently signed a massive AWS deal to utilize 5 gigawatts of compute on Trainium chips. 5 gigawatts! That kind of insane scale is specifically designed to keep token prices flat or even bring them down. So expect Claude 5 to likely stick to the familiar $20 a month Pro tier and standard API pricing. You are getting vastly more power for the exact same price.
So as we sit tight and wait for the official Q3 drop and the big transition from that secret Mythos model over to the public Claude 5, I want to turn this over to you. What is the one thing you want Claude 5 to be able to do that literally no model handles well today? Drop your thoughts, and let's get a conversation going. Thanks for joining me on this explainer